of course, it's a great pleasure to invite our speaker, Chandra Modali sir, who has did a very beautiful session last Friday. And of course, all the masters attended this beautiful session today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to every both souls masters. Now I invite Master Chandra Modali sir. Please come forward, sir, and do your presentation. Thank you very much.
Sir, a small correction with your permission.
Okay, Master.
This is a discussion, not a presentation.
This discussion, Master.
Yeah, this is an interactive session.
This actually, Dr. GK said, is awareness of spiritual tablets. We are not doing any of these things, just awareness, what spiritual table is about and how it helps us in our health and be happy in life. That's the most important. This is a basic part of it. So this awareness is very, very important. And that's why Master Chandra Modali has come here to give us the awareness. In his own way today, the topic he touches is the continuation of last week. That is about who am I? Please continue, sir.
Right. Thank you, sir. And I will start with sharing my presentation. And so get into my presentation. Yes, ma'am. So are we recording this session?
Yes, sir. Master Saujana is recording.
Okay. No, because I don't see any recording indicator. So maybe live streaming?
Live streaming, yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, when we did the exercise last time, right? What do you think was the purpose of doing that exercise? Anybody?
To visualize our future.
Okay. Now, suppose I turn the tide and say, if you look into, you looked at as is, you looked at the future, right? Suppose the same thing, you start from your birth till today, right? And you try to identify the kind of experiences that you have gone through.
Yeah, experiences. Yeah, past experiences.
Right? Your past experiences, which will create your personality, which is what I had said, right, in this diagram after we did this exercise. Right? So, as you go forward, you end up creating your personality. And what does that personality actually consist of? It consists of your flow of whatever actions you have taken, the experiences that they have created. Then that becomes your, a personality means it's an identity, which means it shapes your beliefs. Along with the beliefs, you also end up having what I would call you may even go to the extent of, because of those beliefs, your ego, the way it has got built, and you will start having their own contributions to what I would call, if you see this diagram here, what you see in the red color, your fears, your apprehensions, all these based on either your bringing up or your experiences or various other constraints that are put on you. So as a result, typically we need to understand that these, in terms of the action, when you look at this, all these take the shape of one kind of an energy or the other. This energy, along with your beliefs, your experiences, which are now part of your subconscious mind, guide your execution of those, which means you get the emotional energy, and that emotional energy is then getting converted in the physical body to actions. Actions that are physically executed or mentally perceived. But the impact that they are going to have is going to be guided by the conditions, the circumstances, the environments, and the outcomes. Are you all with me? Right? Everyone is with me, right? When I'm saying that we are guided, and that is where we reach. Okay. Okay. Now, we also saw that these impressions that we have created, they manifest and influence our behavior, whether we are in the conscious state. We heard that Janaka story last time, correct? Now, that story related to the state of your being. It could be your waking state. It could be your dream state. It could be your deep sleep state, or it could be a state that you have yet to give a name, which in our Mandukya Upanishad is called the Turiya, or it is known as the fourth state. Turiya means the fourth, right? And each of them have their own impact. If you take the impact of that, what could it be? We will come to that as we progress. So now, keep that position, saying that you have been brought up and you have created a map of your future, and based on the life till the age of 35, you have gone ahead and created your personality as segregated into your beliefs, your affirmations, your fears, and so on and so forth, which are all energy blocks that are within the body. They are your emotions. And whenever you close your eyes and you think of, let us say, masala dosa, for example, right? Immediately the taste, the shape, the color, all these manifest first in your mind, and when you start preparing it, it will become exteriorization of your thoughts, your experience, and so on. And once you have experienced, you have an expectation in your mind. But in reality, when that got created, it ended up being masala dosa, yes. You expected a roasted masala dosa, and what you got is something brown in shape, but very flaccid. Expectations and reality are not necessarily the same. Correct? So now, we will look into our life based on what drives our existence in the physical world. What are those bodies and energy modules in the body that get impacted, and how do they manifest as a disease, and so on and so forth. Because based on the lifestyle that we go through, we create our health, we create our illness, etc. Right? Now, why is this important to understand? When we go to a doctor, when you have a challenge, a health challenge, right? When you go to a doctor, he is treating a portion. He is definitely giving you a medicine. But is that medicine sufficient for the holistic cure? I'm trying to help you understand why spiritual tablets, what value will you get, right? And how do you need to look at yours? These are the three things we will establish in today's session, right? So what are they? Let us start with what are our basic needs? So there was a Dr. Maslow, who a renowned psychologist, who studied the behavior pattern of people and created a triangle. Incidentally, the shape of that also is like that of a pyramid, right? Which has got certain levels based on what? These are based on the basic survival requirement, basic gratification requirement, etc., based on the individual exposures, experiences, and their own outlook to life. So now you will find that these can be mapped onto what we call the chakras inside the body also, typically around 7 or 8 layers. How does that? So you have got needs that can be called survival needs. Then there are ego satisfaction needs, your safety needs, and so on and so forth, and your spiritual needs. They can be segregated into 2 different segments. One that we will say are those that we want to improve, and those that define our growth. Our growth is based on our learning, which is contribution of information. When you experience them, you will call it knowledge. And then, right, how do you get the maximum out of it is your implementation. All these call for what you would call additional skills, the ability to look forward, the courage, etc., which are based on your own upbringing, your own exposures and experiences, and they do not become inhibitions. I tried this last time, I failed. So this time also I will definitely fail. That becomes a sort of a bottle. Right? So let us see how we can take the advantage of this. First of all, let us become aware about this. Right? Now, if I really remap my life, I can probably identify certain important areas of my life, which I would call the ecosystem of life, which can be segregated into my growth needs, what I showed earlier, my experiences, my desire, my belief, my emotions, my ethical, my value system, my individual value system that I create, and then the kind of support I can expect, the support that I will get, and what I may not get. Correct. And then I have what I am calling the choices that I make, which will eventually become a sort of a gate. I pass through that, I feel success. I don't pass through that, I feel disappointed, and so on. So where will this lead me? This is my progression in life. That was the plan in life. This becomes my progression in life. Correct. So now let us see. Whatever outcomes that I encounter by virtue of the action and experience. Can you mute all? And right. So now what happens is these can be mapped onto what is known as a scale. That scale is nothing but the vibration that we generate has got a score. This was done by Dr. David Hawkins. Again, a very, very renowned this one, which defines the levels of consciousness. That means awareness. As we can see from this energy diagram, on one side I will say ignorance is one of the arrow coming in. The other one is going to be knowledge or my awareness. Okay. So I
Sir,
could be-
sorry to disturb you, sir. Now it is clear, sir. The picture was blurry. Now the picture is blurry, sir.
It still be blurry.
Yes, sir. The energy is that picture is there, right, sir? The energy is after that the font is all blurry, sir. I think if you click, it is getting blurry.
Is it? Network is good. Let me do one thing. Let me remove this and again share. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Better.
Right. So now the actions that this diagram is showing at the bottom, depending upon those constraints, the outcome can be mapped along your feelings and your courage levels, your knowledge levels, which are nothing but influenced by the level of energy which is entering in and the level of the extent of the energy that is able to come out. When I say come out, it is the manifestation of the action, right? And then we also come to the stage of analyzing them into, it has happened to me, it has been done by me, my ego, right? I am either hurt, I am either this one, which gets mapped onto these scales, and that becomes my state of existence at that moment. Right? By design, the body is capable of managing these kind of impacts when they are in the lower end. When they can be managed. I mean, the body is designed to withstand some extent of damage for a momentary duration, which in the medical field, they will say that you are generating, your emotions are generating chemicals in the body. And those chemicals, if we keep on doing the same level of thinking, we end up having a sort of the body ends up having, without our awareness, ends up having a sort of an addiction. Right? And the energy movement starts reducing because of the blockages, and that will manifest as an illness in the body. Are you all with me? Right. Now, there are scientific methods in which these can be mapped on when you go to a psychiatrist. But in spiritual tablets, we will tell you that your body is designed. Your body is designed by regulating and doing certain things periodically. You can increase your energy levels. What are those energy levels that you can increase? How can you increase those energy levels? By the act of meditation, wherein every single experience that you are doing in terms of energy, the way the body thinks, you are subjecting your body to close to 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Let us take the lower end of the figure. Let us say we consider 60,000 thoughts. 60,000 thoughts, eliminating the 8 hours that get whiled away in sleep, etc., you are left with almost 1 thought per second. That is too much, because every thought consumes energy, and you don't have sufficient energy to take care of all these challenges that you are going to encounter. So you need to be able to understand yourself better, saying, who am I? I know. Okay, I am now not okay, because there is a disease pattern and I am vibrating at a lower frequency than that. and energy will flow from a higher frequency to a lower frequency, I may end up falling sick. Okay. So map of consciousness is basically nothing but your energy based on the emotion at which you are functioning or under the control of the emotion, right? Now, how does this drop in? So far, any questions? Because this understanding is going to now get carried and mapped onto your physical body. Any questions so far in terms of the energy, what it is and where is it coming from? No questions. I'm so happy. Either I'm very good at delivering my lecture or you are brilliant and I don't, however way I deliver, you will absorb the content. Right? Thank you for that. Now, see, the way the matter in our body is organized. See, let us try to first see how this body has got created. What is the constituent of this body? Anybody? No biology student here?
Sir, in general terms, you're asking, sir, bodies consist of blood, blood cells,
Okay.
tissues, organs.
Correct. Now go 1 or 2 levels below. What does it contain?
Cells,
Okay, go below.
electrons. I can say cells means nucleus,
So you have atoms,
atoms,
you have
electrons.
molecules.
Ah,
From molecules, you have chemicals, you have cells, you have tissues, and so on and so forth till they culminate into what I would call an organ. Correct? And so basically, the body is not just the physical body. It is a layered structure. Correct? If I go into that side, it will be very, very detailed, not required at this point. We will do that summary later. So the body, we will consider out of the 7 layers of the body, 2 layers are beyond reach for us in the physical world. Okay, which we understand from our ancient scriptures. We understand them to be the Devaloka and all those. So let us leave that. But you have 5 layers within this physical world. You have what you call the basic physical body, which has got 2 components to it. There is the dense physical body, and then you have the etheric double, okay, which people call the aura in the body. That is the aura. Then you have 1 layer, which is the energy. All the others are all subtle bodies. The physical body is only one entity around which you have the, because you are a vibrating entity, the lower your frequency, the more physical the existence. The higher the frequency, more subtler the existence. So you have the anatomical body, which is consisting of your DNA, the cells, the tissues, the nerves, the organs, and so on. Then you have what you call the energetic. I was talking about the energy layer, right? That energy layer happens to be your magnetic field or the field around your body. Just as we talk about an atmosphere around the earth, the body also has what we call an atmosphere. And it consists of the radiations from the body that come out and your suction of the particles from the atmosphere into the body, which happens through your initiative of breathing. You breathe in, you breathe out. You are actually taking these constituents, these broken down constituents inside. The body is using that breath to do the repair function or maintenance, and it is throwing it out. Okay. So you have in the physiological body, you have the chakra system, etc., which are nothing to be complicated. They are not physical. These are all layers of energy environments, the waves of energy which is following that layer, right? Which has got particles as well as the breath components, etc., which are doing the circulation of the energy. Now, going above, and remember, the circulation and movement of the energy is managed across the body by this layer, which you are calling the physiological. Beyond the physiological layer is your mental energy, the mind, the thought level. So you have got the physical body. Then you have got what you are calling the astral body associated with this. That happens to be your feeling body or desire body. Right? Everything is in the form of a vibration. Right? 1 second. Okay. So now So now I'm going into what I call the manomaya kosha. So physical annamaya kosha, where the food is through the physical food that we eat, and those things that we call, which impact us when we watch something, our change in emotions, all those go into the diet pattern. Then we are looking into the physiological body, where we are fed by, dependent upon partially on the food and other energy sources that we are taking it, which is also dependent on the breath. The third one is part of your psychological, or I will call it the mental layer, the mind. Yeah. So this is where the daily mind, he's calling it the daily mind, but I would call it the emotional, the feeling, the thoughts triggered by that, etc. Right? Now, the next layer happens to be the intellectual, which means your knowledge and all the associated outcomes by virtue of the knowledge or the lack of it. Right? That happens to be your individual identity. You may call it the ego, etc. Right? That will be the one that is talking to you, that is telling you you can do it, you can't do it. All the past experiences, etc., are associated there. Then we come to the layer which gives us the satisfaction, the happiness, more spiritual in nature, and it is the bliss that we experience, which we call the cosmic one, which is again subtlest among what we can experience on this physical. Okay. So you have so many layers, and the highest layer controls the layer below it, and so on in a hierarchical manner, which means the vibrations that are created at your cosmic layer impact your intellect, impact your mental state, that impacts your energy levels in the body, and that comes down in your anatomy, which is your physical body. Now, please remember, because they are interconnected, what you experience in your physical body travels up, and what conclusions your knowledge, your fear, etc. give, that travels down. Both happen. So it becomes very essential that you understand the structured layer one above the other, which has been mapped here. Okay? You are able to see the physical layer, the astral layer, the mental layer, the causal layer, and then the spiritual body. Spiritual body happens to be your cosmic part. Any questions? please ask. This is not a one-way communication. I would prefer it to be a two-way communication so that wherever there are doubts, etc., we can take care of that at this stage itself. Right? So if there are no questions, now in order to understand this a little bit better, right, we will compare it with the anatomy of a rocket. Right? Any one layer after takeoff, which means after birth for us, misbehaves, it impacts the entire trajectory of the overall communication that has got established. Likewise, right? And when we physically leave this body behind, right, each part, just like the physical layer, the astral layer, then the mental layer, all these layers also drop up till what we call the ego layer, the identity. And whatever impressions we have, whatever experiences, etc., in the waveform are part of this layer, which is the ego layer, which is known as the causal body as we were mapping, right? And that defines your karmic rotation, life after life, aligned to, what do you think it would be aligned to? The 35 plus divine virtues, which is the original plan with which you as a soul would have entered this physical life. Any question? If you remember, in the, right, we had said that your pre-birth plan that you create, in the last session I had spoken about this, there are 35 divine virtues, out of which you select a few of them, and then you draw a roadmap for yourself, which can be mapped to all those future vision that you had drawn. They can be mapped. They have a connection. Right? Now, if you don't have the capability, it means you don't have the past wisdom. Your execution of that will become a problem. You will need to learn those skills. It will be time consuming and so on and so forth. All those define your emotions. Are you seeing the connectivity between your arrival here? There is a plan with which you have arrived. You are executing the plan, right? And you have come to this layer, which is nothing but these various layers, and all of them have an influence on the overall trajectory. Here, the trajectory instead of the rocket, if you take the physical human being's lifestyle, I would call it that defines your purpose of life, your experiences of life, and the overall journey of life itself is dependent on it. Right? So spiritual tablets actually educates you on all these models at different stages and helps you lead a better life. Now, I was talking about medicine. If each of these layers, which has its own environment, and they are connected yet separate, if I am taking physical medicine, where will it work? Will it work at the lowest level? Will it work
Yes.
at different levels?
The physical medicine works at physical levels.
At the physical level.
Lowest level.
Correct. But understand this, that it is a bundled, sudden release of energy into the physical body, and it can also influence the other layers in the body indirectly. Does it mean that medicine is not required? It means the medicine is required, but you are also having the capability to limit the use of that medicine for certain specific needs, which I would call emergency, and remaining you can actually manage, right, through your lifestyle, which focuses on energy supply throughout the body. That is meditation. That is actually spiritual tablets plays a predominant role there, because spiritual tablet looks at the body units that make up the body as energy, consciousness, and wisdom. Right? Effective management of these three, one of them being a portion of the medicine which could be unregulated. The body has the ability to regulate them. And when it is absolutely necessary, yes, medicine should be. This gives you holistic health because it's an adjunct to any medicinal help that you are taking. And over a period of time, it can help you cure yourself naturally. That is the object. This is the wisdom that you are acquiring towards that, just to get a proper understanding of what it is. Correct. So, coming back, if I try to take it, the overall structure involves all the, if I take the rocket and compare it to a human body, we have all, just as these individual components are there, we have got multiple layers. The entire body, the structure can be compared to the structure of a rocket systematically, I mean, as a system. And if I look at it, right, the spiritual side can be compared to the highest level, right? Each having its own contribution to the overall journey in life. That is the mapping between the individual components of the body and the spiritual science behind it. Today, I would call it the quantum science, not just the spiritual. Because quantum science and spiritual science are having a lot of overlap. Right? Now, I was talking about every single thought as it moves down, becoming physical, and every single experience as it starts moving up, right? That influencing the other layers in the body. That happens to be in terms of the vibrations that it can generate. That can be scored along a scale, right? So if I look at the composition of the energy scale, it is specific states of mind and emotion. They both define the state. Specific words, your behavior patterns influence that, which is your speech and all that. Your speech, your thought. Also, I was speaking about masala dosa. Without the physical masala dosa, you can actually generate the same amount of saliva in your mouth just by thinking of that. The experience, the color and all that, correct? Right? So those kind of exposure, what do you call the experiences that you would recall, stored in the subconscious mind or the memory component of the mind. Then you're talking about your surroundings, your environments, physical and mental, external and internal, all those which could, some of them could lead to sorts of addictions, which you need to overcome. Those addictions, when they start vibrating as fear, courage, pride, and so on, they have their own impact. You can think of them as lumps of collected energies becoming solid globules, occupying spaces in the pipelines, which are the Nadi system or the chakra system or the energy systems, all those which will result in our fatigue or our tiresomeness or our enthusiasm and so on and so forth. All these can be mapped on and these can be studied. These manifest in our day-to-day behavior. Right? So now, those emotions can be actually, in terms of trying to adjust them, what I've put together is, right? I mean, these are just to indicate that we need to live either in the survival or in the balanced mode. It is better that we recognize these states in our lifestyle, and we are able to look at putting those kind of scenarios where our understanding, our bandwidth can be managed better and better in terms of 4 segregated areas: tough times in life, how to find happiness, or getting most of our work life, our work area. Then also identify us as individuals. So what identifies us? Our integrity, our authenticity, how you are able to convey your speech, your behavior pattern in terms of your self-esteem, the injury to the self-esteem, etc. Right? And they can be mathematically, when I say, don't say, I made this 0, so this is how it is going to work. But just for our understanding, we can call them, for example, authenticity is equal to self-awareness into courage. Self-awareness into courage, which means the motivation. Right? So you can create these kind of equations for yourself in your life. Then if I say the emotional side of it, dealing with difficult times, right? The emotion itself, we link it to our life. Right? When we are doing that, I will share the presentation. You don't have to write down, madam. I will share this presentation. There is nothing secretive about this. This is all basic foundational knowledge, right? So we start looking at, let us say, we undergo an experience. It is despair. We feel disgusted. That equation can be classified as suffering minus meaning.
Sir, sorry to
Meaning
disturb you,
is-
sir. Sir, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you. Sir, I would like to know more about narcissism, sir.
Narcissism is basically you're saying that I am treating you, right? I am treating you below par, your self-esteem, your existence. You respect yourself for something, but I don't recognize that. For example, let us say I come to this class and say, can you please switch on your cameras? I may be meaningless in making that statement. Correct? But no one responds to it. I try it a second time. No one responds. How am I to take that reading? Either I know about it, right? I am asking a question which is stupid. Or I need to recognize that camera is something they will switch on when they need, right? Or it is part of the discipline that I have acquired over the years. Correct? Now, this defines my expectation. When my expectations, based on the level at which I am operating from, right? I'm a student. I come and tell you, switch on your camera. You say, why the hell I will? I will not. Right? So you will take that kind of an action, but the repercussion of that action on the other individual, right, will be a deep hurt, deep guilt, or, right, he may have to start feeling subservient to the person whom he has asked. Right? So that is going to result in, that experience of his is going to result in what we are seeing in the emotional side. Correct? There is an injury here. If it keeps on happening, you will probably switch off and say, why should I ask? Anyway, I will not get better. I don't ask and protect my individual identity rather than, right? So all those kind of things become this, they will manifest as one or two or many of these equations. And they are not individual. There is an incident. That incident is going to trigger your response. Correct? Now, that incident has now gone into despair or disappointment or regret and so on and so forth. Correct? Okay. So how will you read them when it becomes a disappointment? Disappointment can be, I unnecessarily had ill-placed expectations. Correct. Suppose my expectation was 0, then I would recognize the reality and the reality will not hurt me. My expectation was, I went to this movie, I expected a great experience, but then it has become lousy. Chodo, right? Today's day has gone a waste. These kind of things, but suppose we start taking this and then putting onto this scale, right? And that has become an experience in your mind. What will you do with that experience? Day in and day out, you will start undergoing or thinking about the same thing. And it could eventually lead to weakening of a system or an outcome within the body. Okay. So now, right, likewise, since I'm going to share this, you can probably create 1 or 2 of your experiences as an exercise, right? And then write what is still troubling you even today. Right? There would be a scientific approach. There could be a spiritual reason underlying why that is happening, etc. These are some of the things. As you go into the depth of spiritual tablets, you will get to know. But this, a medicine cannot detect. A medical profession cannot be able to identify and provide the holistic part of the cure. To that extent of giving the medicine for that problem, the fragmented Newtonian, right? This problem, I can replace this and then change it. These kind of things is available in the generic or traditional medical approach. Whereas you need more than that. You saw that. Whatever I am experiencing, the medicine can induce changes in the other. So we read about medical reactions and all, right? Or allergy coming out of it. Those are all examples which you can understand better, get a better understanding and benefit from, right? That brings me to what I had planned for today, because last time I know the discussions took us almost, I actually helped all the people in Malaysia, etc., lose their sleep over it. I don't want to do that, right? So now I'm open for questions. In the next one, I will actually take you, I don't know whether I've got those part of the slides here. No, I didn't put it here, right? Okay. So if there are questions, let us throw this one for open for question answers. No questions, no answers. I am happy. Subramanian sir is happy.
Chandra sir,
Sir?
I just wanted to I think most probably most of them understood a lot, and some are still puzzling what's all about. No, actually today Chandra sir the second session from last session from last to this session, he is actually giving the awareness to us how the energy in our body. And that energy is an ECW. You mentioned the word ECW, energy, consciousness, and the wisdom. So, in fact, he was telling all of us, we medically, physically, we have lower energiness, and that's why we're getting so much of problems. As a physically, that means you will go and see doctor for the problems, and then to get it temporarily, you get what you call a cure. But he been explaining in a different and very beautiful suggestion how holistic method can go beyond that, so that you will get a lot of energy through meditation, and through that energy, and you have your conscious level increase, and from conscious level, you get wisdoms. So this original level permanently curing your diseases. That's actually a basic thing he has been talking about it, but he has beautifully explained all the different ways scientifically also, you know. So masters, you understood this particular purpose, and you know that what you were, as I said, our life cycle, what you are, and how you have changed yourself from the infancy until today, and what are different stages you underwent, and what are the changes that we have experienced. And these things are masters. If anything you have any what you call differences or anything you don't understand, please put forward the questions to him so that he will explain you in detail. Please, masters, come forward, masters. That's the basic, you know. The basic is that you must be physically, you must be healthy, and you must be happy in life. This is the most important thing, you see. Okay, master, anything you want to put forward? Any questions, masters? I don't know whether I have given you a concise a bit. Chandra Garu?
Sir, let us see. If they don't have questions, then I'm happy.
Sir, Lakshmi here, Chandra sir, so very good session, sir. So it is so good to know about all these things about energies and then how we work, how the physical body works. So I have one question now. So so somebody asked about nurses. So you are saying that if someone is at the very low level, then they will have all the physical problems, and then what happens? See, it is like if someone is troubling you mentally. So I get hurt daily, and then so somebody will push someone into depression and all. So how to protect oneself by meditating or increasing the energy? How that helps? Can you please explain?
Yes, right. So now, imagine you are on one side of the door. Okay.
Okay.
There is a door. Yes. You are pushing the door towards me, and I am pushing the door towards you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Now you are stronger than I am. Okay.
Okay.
Assume that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We are all vibrational beings on this earth. While we think that we are this physical body, if I wear the eyes of a microbiologist or a pathologist, do you think I will see the same structure?
No.
What will I see?
Molecular level.
Collection of cells, right?
Correct.
Now, each cell, when it is vibrating, is going to cause a disturbance in the arena. And if that field in which they are is stronger than that vibration, it can withstand, correct?
Correct.
Now, take the same analogy to the situation I said. You are stronger than me means you are able to exhibit more energy than I can. Correct?
Okay.
In the door example.
Right. So it is about the energy. So you have to be so very strong, and so you should have the energy to protect yourself.
Correct.
That is
now,
the only one thing.
You are vibrating. The disease also is vibrating, like COVID, if you take. COVID had, I think, 25 hertz or something as its vibration. I don't remember now. Right? And someone who is in the fear arena or guilt arena can vibrate around 20 or 30. Right? The same units being the same. Or that was at close to 100 or so. And a person who is below that level, who is living in fear, right? If I
Okay.
take that slide, one sec. Uh,
So it is around 20 or 30, the guilt and fears. 50, I guess.
correct. Right. Now, if you are vibrating at that stage and the disease has got a higher vibration or the contamination in the environment has got a higher vibration, let us say.
Okay.
Okay. Now what will happen? You will take that as part of your intake and that will start further reacting with the environment of what you have created inside, which doesn't have the energy to withstand. Are you with me?
Yes, 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 sir. Yes, sir.
Now is it clear how you attract the sickness?
Okay, I got it. Yeah. So why I'm asking you this question is like, so of late I have been hearing about the narcissism and the people around them are affecting a lot, and then so families and kids and then spouses, right? So I just wanted to understand like who is strong in this. So whether it is a narcissist or the family, as who has to work, because I know that so both the parties should work on themselves so to lead a better life. But
So, okay, good question, right? Let me give you an answer. One second. Where is this? Yeah. Okay. So now what happens is, okay, one second. I will have to share this slide.
okay,
Though
so
it is part of revealing next session's content also, but I will still go ahead because it is important that you people understand what I am trying to communicate. Okay. Now
okay.
let's take a very scientific approach. Okay. In this diagram, you are able to see the diagram.
Yes, sir, I can.
So you have two atoms with a vibration field in between, which is overlapping. You see something in gray color in all the diagrams, right?
Right, sir.
This gray, right?
Right.
When they, for example, let us say in simple terms, one is sodium, the other one is chloride. Okay? They both mingle
Okay.
with each other. They create a new environment and that becomes sodium chloride, which is your salt. Okay? So it is
Yes.
from two atoms came together and they became a molecule. In a lab, I can say only two molecules can come together, but in the open air, I cannot do that, correct? In my
Right.
everyday life, right?
Right.
So now what I am taking is the molecule, but it has got a field which is consisting of the energy vibration pertaining to atom 1, atom 2, atom 3. Okay? This information is causing a change in the overall composition and that is becoming a chemical. Okay?
Okay.
Now, in the body, if I really take a larger field, this chemical is the one that is there existing as blood, it is existing as sugar levels, it is existing as salt levels, the potassium, the minerals, all those, correct?
All those components, yeah.
Correct. Now, this chemical is creating a reaction amongst itself. The vibrations that are taking place is then converting it to a cell. Are you with me?
Yes, sir, I am.
Right. Now, a group of these cells with their own fields of vibration, this vibration can also be caused by your thought process. Remember that. Okay. The more the intensity,
This is
the more
important.
the impact of that. So, that cell will become a tissue. Now, what is dictating the health of the tissue? This entire process. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, this tissue with further interaction with the different tissues is becoming an organ in the body. Okay?
Okay.
Are you with me? And ultimately, it is
Yes,
then
sir.
becoming part of a system and then a human body. Now, the question that you asked, this is the overall process of how your
Oh.
energy has got transformed into a physical body.
Correct.
Now, how will meditation help you? What is meditation doing? While meditating, there are some influences through affirmations you can exert, because the body doesn't know whether it is physical or whether it is abstract. Suppose you are sitting alone in the house and you hear the noise of something falling somewhere. There is no electricity, something has fallen. Immediately, what is your reaction?
We'll go check.
But then there is no electricity. So first thing is probably a
Good.
sort of a past experience of that kind will come into your mind. Correct?
Right.
So there is a
Yes.
fear. You have changed the composition of this gray matter. Okay.
Okay.
Now you are able to understand how you
Okay.
generate
Yeah.
that.
Yes. So it is like, yeah. So past
Right. Now
experiences
you have
also
changed
will
the
cause the.
but when you are able to do that consciously with the type of affirmation you are going to feed it, what will you do?
Okay.
I can show you practically. I had a wound which was not healing for over 2 years. I went to doctors. Doctors helped
We
me
will not, sir. We
nowhere.
will not.
Pardon? Have you got it? Next time when we talk, I will show you the practical way I used this model to heal an injury on my foot.
Oh, okay.
Right? But this is the underlying process through which you can heal yourself.
Okay.
Does
Okay.
that answer your question?
Yes, sir. So yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Any other question?
No, sir. So that's all from my side.
No,
But today,
this is all
thank you so
scientific.
much.
It is not theoretical. It is not what you call religious. It is nothing but your energy, your consciousness, your wisdom, and the medium of meditation together, where you are able to heal yourself. Actually, let me also tell you, you can even heal your diabetes with this. It may take some time. I was somebody who was dependent on insulin, not type 1, but type 2 diabetes. And today, combining the breath, modifying the diet, I am reasonably healthy. I don't take medicines. Unless I eat 2 or 3 scoops of ice cream, followed with some nice, what do you call, kheer, and then a few other sweets together along with some fruits, then I need medicine. Okay. So there are so many things that are possible just by your thought process. Like if any of you have read the book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, he reconstructs 6 crushed vertebrae, not with meditation, but his mind thought. This diagram that you saw is from his book. There is so much power in your thought, your affirmation, and all you need is some framework through which you can apply it on your health and get the benefit of it. And one such media where we, for example, in the sleep, you will get a communication, etc., because you are in this one. So those dreams are actually trying to help you understand what has happened with you, what kind of thoughts, right? There is a spiritual meaning to every dream, which are all the in-depth concepts under spiritual values.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions?
Thank you so much,
Any
sir.
other master? Lakshmi ji? Lakshmi.
So that's all. No, yeah, that's what. So I lowered my hand. It is still showing.
Okay,
I don't know if that's obvious.
Anyone else? Then I think, Sojana, there are no questions.
So, hi.
Yeah.
I just want to ask one question, not question, but just want to, confirm this. So, actually, I came across one situation where my grandmother was sick. She was at the last stage, and everyone lost the hope. And but I remember some of these techniques, like feeding good thoughts to the subconscious mind. So I hold her hand, and then I sent out good wishes that she will come back and she'll be normal like that. So and then at the same time, I also given some tulasi water also, which I brought from the temple. So the doctor also said it is not possible. That's all, but because her age is around 90, so so they said few days, but I don't know what happened. Uh, uh, but immediately she started recovering after 1 or 2 days, and she slowly started recovering. And after that, she is now normal. Almost it happened 1 year ago. Still, she is normal and she is able to walk. Even for half kilometer, she is able to walk. So is because I read in one of the book that that subconscious related book that the doctor feeded the to the patient to good thoughts, so it automatically registered in his mind and it worked wonder. So I wanted to ask you that, but I need to know, is it really working or I don't know, but I just want to clarify that, confirm that.
What is there are two things here. You gave the positive energy, right?
Yeah.
And from her perspective, she had the desire to live.
Okay.
Both together is the outcome that you are seeing now. Because a death happens with the consent of the individual soul, when I speak spiritually. And it generally happens when they have completed the purpose of life, or they decide that the purpose of life with which they have come is better to be abandoned as a project. Because it is, I have bitten more than I can chew types. Right? Then you end up leaving or vacating the body. But in this case, you gave the positive energy. She accepted that positive energy and linked it to something that she wanted to complete. Okay. It's a combination of both, which has resulted in the positive energy taking control of her situation and her becoming cured.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Parthasarthi ji. Have one raised hand. Parthasarthi, sir. No, you are muted. If you are talking, we are not able to hear you. Yeah.
Sir, he's
Sir,
the one
again
who
it has
asked the
become
question,
mute.
sir.
Pardon?
No, he was the one who asked this question about that.
Oh,
life.
okay. Then he is on two systems, is it? There is one PB Miracle Begins.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you hearing me?
Yeah, I am able to hear you, sir.
How to see the opponent or the audience are having the same frequency and energy as you? Suppose somebody will not be in sync with you. How do we know that they are receiving or sending positive signals?
Sir, your third eye needs to be active, first thing. That means your energy levels are at that transcendental stage. Okay. And
Okay.
the other one is their own reactions.
Body movements.
Body movements or the way they look in their eye. There are so many ways that you can decipher. There is not one standard way. But generally, people who are transcendentally evolved, they are able to sense that. Whom you may call a third eye master or a guru or something like that.
Anyway, if you are like a Buddha, you will attract, no?
Pardon? If you are like
if your energy level and all these things are peaceful, automatically they will listen to you, no?
It is quite possible. But you are asking about the other person receiving it, and how do you check that?
When they receive fully only, we can further go interacting,
Yes.
no? If they are shut off.
One is they receive, the other one is they have not shut down on, they are not having the conviction to shut down something.
I saw some show in which one young girl came and told the audience what he or she is thinking of taking a holiday, this and that and all. She got trained in art of living. How is that done?
No, see, that is what I'm saying. You get into what you call the clairvoyance.
In real time.
Clairvoyance, clairaudience. I mean, you have clair here. This clair becomes a prefix for your four senses. Right? Through that they get to know. For example, if I do this, just take a look at my hand. See, if I'm doing this for my hand itself, I can see that I'm creating a wave which I'm able to feel. That is the energy of the right hand. I'm able to feel moving the blood inside.
Some aura is there.
Yes. Right. So there are so many things that you can see based on the training that you have taken and how the way you have trained your senses. Then it is possible.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I just want to share one more incident. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I know one healer from Mumbai. I know one healer from Mumbai.
Yeah.
So maybe you all heard about him, and he also treated Ambani also, Mr. Ambani, the very elder one. So actually, I also met him once. So what he's doing is he's just placing his hands on our head, and he's treating the patient. Whatever health issues, it's automatically going. So he's that's why everyone is coming and taking treatment from him. And he's saying that in a meditative state, it will work. In a meditative state,
that
it
is
will work.
Because
yeah.
When do you oppose something?
When somebody gives an argument which is not be like
that
it.
Is when you are able to think whether you need to accept it or not, which is a function of your conscious mind. Okay.
Okay.
But suppose I hypnotize you, right? Then I have access to your subconscious mind. wherein
Okay.
you are not taking any decision, you are only emoting. Okay. If I can take you to that stage, and under that situation, when your brainwaves are at that stage, you are suggestive. That means
Okay.
whatever I suggest, you will blindly accept because you have not brought in your individual thinking layer into effect there. Okay.
Okay.
So there is no opposition. I have directly reprogrammed your way of thinking.
Okay.
That is the way it works. Okay. So Saujanya, is that all for the day?
Yes, sir. Let's wind up, sir.
Yeah.
Let's do 5 minutes meditation before leaving, sir. Is it okay?
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Please place your
Thank you very much.
slowly rub
Thank
your
you very much, Master Sajana. Thank you for all the, before concluding, my gratitude to all participants who took part today's session, and also of our lecturer today, Chandra Modali, for giving this beautiful, informative session. I like to inform you all again, masters, every Friday, this time, that's 8 p.m. Malaysian time, and ISA time is 5:30 p.m. We'll be having this session every Friday, masters. Please come forward and share experiences with us. Thank you very much. See you again next week. Bye. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
We conclude.